I had heard that Mrs. Oldroyd was lamenting because no young people were going to the study of shells. And since I couldn't find a job in psychology, I decided to come over and work as a volunteer in exchange for instruction. So she was very willing to make this arrangement. Took me down to the department office, told the head of the department, Dr. Blackwelder, that this was a new recruit, and so he made me research associate. Being a volunteer and being a research associate, I was not on salary. It was explained to me, but I did have the privilege of using the library and other university facilities. I was very happy with this because I was learning to do a craft, the study of shells, which was interesting and enjoyable, and the more I did it, the more interested I became, and so I never tried again to get a job. Eventually, they put me on the payroll on a part-time basis. And at that time, they assured me that promotions, they made me curator of paleontology, and assured me that I would probably be promoted eventually, but being a woman and being a neophyte in the field and not having a degree in geology and being a curator, I couldn't expect advancement very rapidly. I agreed that that was quite all right. I was so interested I was hooked. So I stayed on that basis. Then when the war came along, the professor with whom I was principally working went into the military government part of the Army and left the campus. In fact, practically everybody in the department left except Dr. Blackwelder and me.
This was in what year?
In 1940. 41.
Mm-hmm.
So before Dr. Skank, the one with whom I worked principally, before he left, he gave me a couple of weeks of rapid instruction, and then I took over teaching micropaleontology, about which I had known nothing at all. I had 2 weeks instruction. I handled that during the war years, and Dr. Blackwelder and I, between us, taught the courses in paleontology. But of course I was only on a part-time basis, and all wages were frozen. So I was doing full-time work, but getting part-time pay.
What was campus like at that time? Did other departments clear out as well?
Oh yes, most of the able-bodied men went into some branch of government service in one way or another, and there were Army recruits stationed on campus who came in for instruction in mathematics and various fields that could be handled by university personnel. So the campus was a marching mob of men, even though there were practically no students there. There were a few women students, and I had students in micropaleontology all through this several years, 3 or 4 years. There'd be one and another that would come along for instruction. Then when the war was over, the GI Bill of Rights brought hordes of students back to campus who were therefore having their tuition paid, and suddenly my one kind of student was 12. I had 12 students in micropaleontology.
Mostly male, though.
All men, yes. The largest class that had ever been in that field, 6, had been usually the one what Dr. Skank had.